Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream, and I am here with Kamika. He's replacing the gaming chef for a little while. Kamika, how you been doing today, and how you feeling about this LAN?
Oh, I've been doing great. I've been watching from the sidelines a little bit. We've been having some pretty banger-worthy matches today, and we've got a lot of, obviously, more to come. You guys haven't even seen Group B yet. That's pretty much it. If you thought this group was stacked, you should see Group B. But before we get there, we have one last game, and that is ATK versus Pulsive.
Ooh, and what a series this is going to be. ATK coming out of a nail-biter series against Beaver New Look, and that was the biggest thing, right? I don't think anybody was expecting them to do so. I think it was a little bit of luck on their end, just due to map 1. They shouldn't have taken it. It was a mistake from the other team. Somebody hopped off the point for literally a second. They ended up gifting them that win, all wrapped up nice in a bow. But again, you're going up against probably the favorite of this entire LAN. It's going to be Pulsive Gaming. And I mean, what can you tell us about Pulsive Gaming here, Kamka?
I mean, yeah, just looking at the names on this roster, they are my favorites hands down to win it. Stunna the GOAT, named that for a reason. You got Llama, who's a young gun, definitely climbing up the ranks, definitely going to be like hitting the challenger scene really, really hard. Phenom, disgustingly good player. And Shep, well-rounded individual as well to round things out for Pulsive Gaming.
Whew, and then the other side, I think everybody who's been watching the stream is familiar with them. It's ATK. You have Sitched, aka Flippin'. You have Hav Anderson, Ronnie, and Swiz. And I think the player that has really performed the last series, it was Flippin'. Him and Aggro were going at it, dropping 40 bombs in the map 1. And then in the map 4, it was all about the routes being taken. It was Swiz, it was Ronnie. Everybody on this roster has pulled their weight at every single point in this series, or at least this tournament so far in Pool A. I'm curious how they're going to go up against the team that hasn't dropped a map yet.
I mean, yeah, they've been doing pretty good here as well. Like you said, Hove, that's a guy that I recognize from a lot of high-level casts back in Cold War days. I know that everyone was freaking out about him and how good he was, especially back then. But yeah, I haven't seen him in a little bit, and I'm glad to see him back here once again. Maybe we can revive the hype around Hove. But yeah, obviously, like you said, Flippin' in the games that I saw him playing on the stream, he was killing it. And so I'm curious to see if they're able to keep that up against this this increased level of competition.
That's the question, is you're going to go up against better and better teams as this LAN progresses, and you're really wanting to get that #1 seed overall. And I think if they do end up taking Pulsive down, they would secure that #1 seed, because the bottom bracket, every single team is stacked top to bottom. I think there was a few outliers in Group A where it was kind of clear who the top 3 teams were going to be, and it's exactly how everybody expected it to turn out. But I don't think anybody expected ATK to be in this #1, #2 position. I think it was maybe the defending champs in Beaver/New Look that we were kind of expecting, but they have dropped to Pulsive. Now they have dropped to ATK. So no matter what, they've basically secured that #3, #4 seed in the pool play. But unfortunately, I think the Zeref Simps, they're officially eliminated, and it really is going to come down to Ozone if they're going to get the 4th, or is it going to be the end or a Vintage who's looking to battle for that 4th, 5th spot.
Yep, like you said, there's a whole lot of really good teams in the other group, and so no matter who you get, what place you get, you're going to have to go up against a good team. But obviously, you can change that by a little bit of an increment by doing better in your group. Higher finish, easier game going forward into Sun, obviously, is the name of the game here for these guys. But yeah, Graf, we got some maps going on here. The last thing we can really discuss before we get firmly into the game. We're going to be starting things off on Fortress. It is Fortress time, my favorite time of the day. And then we'll be following things up with Embassy, maybe Sniper Central, and then El Asilo. Those are the maps that were at least guaranteed, Graf.
Guaranteed. And then if we end up going to map 4, guess what? It's another Zarqwa Hydroelectric, and of course ATK, they are no slouch when it comes to that map. You saw it in the last 2 series. They took it pretty, not necessarily handedly in the last one, but the one before they absolutely did. So they feel comfortable on it. And then if we end up going to the map 5, we're going to end on the Hotel Motel Holiday Inn, as you love to say there, Kamika. Yeah, I will have to say it almost every single time this series if you don't. But but you just have a feeling that this is probably going to be a 3-1. It's just a matter, can the side of Hove and Co. keep that aggression alive in the respawns? Because when it comes to Pulsive, that is where they dominate the most.
3-1. I think that's a very likely outcome. You're saying it's going to be in the... Okay, let's get to our predictions.
All right.
We were talking about this a little bit before the game actually started. You seem to think that ATK is going to win this one 3-1, you're saying?
I will take that one. If anything, it's going to be a 3-1, but it could be a 3-2 for ATK, because right now they're on fire.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's going to be on the opposite end. I think it's going to be 3-1 in the hands of Pulsive, where I'm trying to think of which map I would give these guys over Pulsive. Probably a CeeLo. Could be a little bit mixy up in there. Hove can definitely make things a little bit interesting up on the inside, and like you said, Flinch on the inside can definitely make a little bit of scenes, and so yeah, I think that they could definitely win a CeeLo. And you know what, now that I'm saying all this stuff, I might be talking myself out of my original prediction, making it a 3-2. 3-2 still in the hands of Pulsive though, because Hydroelectric has definitely been ATK's map.
And it's just a matter of being able to get there. That's going to be the biggest question. But everybody is loaded on up, ready to start off this map 1, as it's going to be that Al Bagra Fortress. And what are some of the keys to victory you think the side of Pulsive Gaming need to do to be able to close this one out?
Oh, well, as many people know by now, you got to get some good holds on to P3. Good rotations to P2. It's pretty good. Like, this map is very rotation heavy, and because it's so small, keeping your opponents in a constant dying spree over and over again, death train as I like to call it. You can't hop off the death train, then you're never going to arrive at the win. So yeah, gonna be looking to stabilize if you do end up getting caught like that. Make sure that you don't just get run down every single time. That's gonna be the big ticket items here, Graph.
And being able, like you said, chain a P2 to P3, that's going to be the biggest question, is being able to make sure you grab a full 60. Don't let those contests come in, because say you don't have that P3 rotation, you don't have that Fountain Hill, make it scrappy. Just don't allow it to be clean is going to be the biggest thing for these teams. And I think for right now on the side of Pulsive, my biggest question mark is Pooty. I haven't seen this player perform at all, and it's curious how he is going to do in this environment, but there's such a solid team. You have Llama 2 times, Stunna, Goat, and then Phenom as well as your teammates. You're putting yourself in a good spot.
I actually can speak on Pooty a little bit. The last line I casted, he was at, and he was a very solid player in addition to being an IGL, so Pulsive Gaming, I'm not sure who would have been the IGL besides him, but he definitely brings a good calming presence to everyone, make sure everyone's on track. And yeah, I mean, they're off to a good start already.
And yeah, they're pushing everybody into this back spawn trap. Yeah, you can just tell they're baiting and switching these angles. Stunna, he's making sure he's not giving anything up, but Ronnie watching over his teammate as well. So it seems like ATK, they're also trying to slow down, make sure they're getting across the map safely. But again, the repositioning from Pulsive has been good so far. Llama holding on to the angles. They're making sure nobody escaped through the middle of the map, but they are trying to fly out through the far side double doors. Phenom with 2, and right now Pulsive Gaming, they are putting it to the side of ATK. Ronnie goes out, flipping, does come on in, but Stunna is there. Can Hove end up going big? No, Stunna 7-1 start.
Stunna with the 7-1. This is why I was calling him Stunna the GOAT, not only because that was his gamer tag back in the old days, but also because he is very good in and of his own right. Very well deserving of that title. And Pulsive, as we said, the P3 rotation, even if you're getting P2, and you can break pretty easily here. Ronnie, catches him one at a time, but Pooty managing to stay alive, hoping that he can drag him into the path of Phenom, or maybe get a little bit of a drop onto him. Not quite going to be happening. And now Phenom, he's about to be getting a little bit surrounded, potentially pounded, and it does seem that ATK will be able to stabilize over on this P3. Half the team a little bit separated, so things could be a little bit dangerous here, as all alone is going to be Ronnie on P3.
Yeah, he has the players watching the middle of the map, holding onto the crosses, but look at number 6. He could do some damage, but Llama, he will go down. And this has been a great hold so far as ATK, they're playing to their roots. They're making sure everybody's baiting and switching, staying live, but Pooty, he's taking his time, making sure he's finding a few kills, but the push comes in through the front. Hove will go down, and now it's left up to Swiz. He has to find this kill to at least get away a little bit of this time, and he absolutely finds it. Should be able to get the last 20 seconds.
Looks like they will. This could be some very, very much needed time here for ATK. Usually you don't see this hill contested as much as we normally do, but the fact that ATK was able to get any time off of that at all after that great Pulsive break pretty much instantaneously is good. They are in a little bit of an interesting position here once again, as they are surrounded, but they do manage to zone them onto one half or the other, turn 3 around and kill the 2 in the back. So good prioritization there from ATK, as now they're looking to catch their opponents off this P4.
And the player that's stepping it up, again, it's Flippin'. This is his playground. The last time we saw him, he dropped, I think, 40 in the map. One for a 250, 249. And Ronnie, he's holding down the back line of defense, ends up taking down Phenom. His players are getting it done on the front end of the hill. So this is so far looking like a pretty solid cannons, but except you have to deal with 2 times. And guess what? He's finding some beautiful shots, but Stunna, he combines for another double impulsive. They're just not giving up all this scrap time to ATK, because the last time the last 2 series we've gone with ATK, they've done a great job at making sure they grab the scrap.
I mean, yeah, you can chilling out for this P4 last scrap time has another benefit for them. The fact that they were able to fully wipe out ATK for the most part was also good for them. They were trying to zone their opponents into the bad spawns of P5, make it a little bit less comfortable for them to hold. But as you can see, ATK, they do have a little bit of staying power, and they will be flipping out the spawns a little bit. Pooty getting a little bit spooked there by his own teammate, and that is going to be a little bit of a rough situation there for them. Pulsive getting a little bit caught with their pants down, a little bit moment of disorganization will be leading to them losing the spawns, getting a decent amount of the time. But yeah, this is a lot more difficult of a position to hold this from.
And Flippin', does he know a player sitting in the corner? No, he doesn't. So Llama gets a freebie. But look at all the players from Pulsive. They're just sitting in the backside stables. And I believe Phenom, he's just kind of sitting right behind that anvil on this Blacksmith Hill as they're starting to run up this scoreline relatively well. But ooh, Swiz with some clean shots. But unfortunately, he will get traded. And this is what makes Pulsive so good. They will not allow too many non-traded kills to fall in the enemy's way. And we're talking about how Hove, he has been the superstar for the side of ATK, but right now he's sitting at 5 and 12.
I mean, yeah, like I said, their map position that they were holding that for might not have been ideal, but they make the most out of it, and that's a sign of a really, really good team. Even if you're not in the most amazing position possible, you can still thrive and play well through it. ATK going to try and get back into this game a little bit off this P1. Don't normally see a whole lot of time going either way, but if you can, then that could be a big difference maker. But Pulsive Gaming, as you can see, all hands on deck. They don't have the spawns yet, but they're going to use this take on P1 to try and catalyze that for themselves, forcing ATK to address this. Otherwise, they'll be a full 80 points up on them.
Ooh, and they end up getting that last little break there on P1. Swiz, can he find 3? No, he cannot, but Flippin', he might be able to push out that line of defense. And Phenom, he tries to go forward. Unfortunately, he will get cut down, but guess what? It leaves the spawns open. And number 5, I think Stunna Goat, he ended up getting a little bit of a split spawn, but he still gets sniffed out. So great in-game awareness from ATK saying, hey, I think a player is going to spawn in this area or in the back just the way that we are positioned. And Pooty, what a beautiful kill, and to get out with his life, but Nazo's flying on in, and unfortunately he will fall to that. ATK, they're putting themselves in a good spot right now for the gals to get themselves right back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, if they get these last 40 seconds, then they could very well be back into the game, but you do have to be a little bit careful here. Pulsive, they're not going to look to take this lying down, because they're trying to get to the point where if you do get this break, then you'll get the scrap time as well as an easy rotation of P3. So this is a danger zone here for ATK. If they do lose this out, as you can see, they are going to get full team wiped at the moment. I was just saying is pretty bad if you get full team wiped at. They're going to try and stabilize, holding the middle of the map, but as you can see, Pulsive, they are ravenous, they are tenacious, and they are not going to give you a second to breathe and reset up on this next hill. Llama already in, looking for Flippin' now. Ronnie not going to be able to help, and Flippin', Flippin' doing a really good job by himself. That could have been a really tough situation. Pulsive will still break 200, but at least ATK will be able to get a little bit closer to that off this P3 hold.
And really Flippin' saved ATK there from this being a 250, 130 type game, because if he didn't, they would have lost the spawn. It would have been a full setup for Pulsive, but the kills are starting to come through. That's a good clean set of kills. Phenom, almost gets a kill, but he will eventually fall. And look at number 1 where Swiz is positioned. He should be able to grab all these players on the cross, or at least one of them. And Llama tries to go big, cannot. It is Hove again. Now he's sitting at 5 in a row. He's finally broke the double-digit kills. Before this, he was sitting at, I believe, 8 and 17. So he's one more away from a streak. It's a matter of, can he find it? Yes, he will. Temporarily, Swiz not expecting that second player and flipping. Can he go big? Finds one, finds the second, and that's a good 15 seconds of scrap. Now you also have a glide bomb to work with. So ATK, they're not out of this one yet.
Oh, by no means. That streak there from Hove, it could very well be deadly. I've seen teams really make good comebacks, especially on a P2. I have seen the most crazy cruise missile ending come out on a P2, a team that was like 50 points down, coming back in just because they had a cruise missile in their back pocket. And so, we'll see if Hove can make the most out of that, as he's drawing very close to coming back positive. But Pulsive Gaming, they are holding it down on this P4 transition. Stunna on the gallows, hanging him high, taking him down, dropping low, but Hove gonna kill him a little bit from beyond the grave with that nade. Coming on inside now, Llama and the guys are getting really close to the victory condition here. Pooty trying to straddle this a little bit. Enemies getting a little bit distracted, don't quite know where to look, and Llama coming in and cleaning things up once again. ATK got basically one last good chance to clear this out. It's got to be Hove. It's got to be now, or it's got to be Swiz going in for a little bit of a contest. Not quite going to be happening. Ronnie flying in solo, but flying in well, hopping onto the objective, at least forcing them off for the time being, and they should very well, yes, be able to push this into a P5.
In the P5, this is where you need to invest the glide bomb relatively quick, but my goodness, like you said, it is Pulsive. They're not giving a second to breathe towards ATK, and guess what? They have the rotation, but look at number one. He should get a freebie on to Pooty, but it's only 4 seconds left, and will you even be able to use the glide bomb is the question, and so far they're holding on to it for now, but oh, what a beautiful nade. Hove is still watching. The cross Phenom is there. Can Swiz find any more? He has the help of one more player, but Pooty, he's on the point. He just needs to stay alive. Can he do it? Yes, he does. And still ATK. I mean, we have seen this story before. They have came back from the depths on the Al-Bagra Fortress, and if they get this one, they could potentially have a really solid P1 hold with this map positioning.
Oh, sometimes when you're so close to victory, you just go a little bit harder for it, but it appears that that will not be harming them at all. They will be able to have some good just wherewithal about themselves. Hammer it down for the finish. Well done by Pulsive.
And that was some beautiful, beautiful breaks coming on in from Pulsive Gaming. They took their time, they made sure they found the kills, and they did not let that one slip through their fingers like the side of the Beaver / New Look in the last one. And you're kind of taking a look at across the stat line. I don't think Ronnie only dealt 1,500 damage. I think that, I mean, if he did with 16 kills, that doesn't seem right. But I mean, he absolutely could have. Still, I mean, you just look at Pulsive Gaming across the board, everybody pulling their own weight, getting a little bit of hill time here and there, but it was really their breaks that made the difference in that game. Pulsive was able to find a lot more contested hills than the side of ATK was.
Yeah, and a lot of their timings as well. If you notice, they knew when to go for certain plays. They played this map a million bajillion times at this point with how long this game has been out. And so, yeah, they've been 100% practicing this. They know, all right, well, if we go and hit the hill at this time, get a full team wipe, we can get a quick rotation of P3. So it happened quite a lot. And I mean, that could have been something that really just destroyed any chance that ATK could have had in that game. But again, they just had individual players go off in individual moments. But while they had that going for them, Pulsive just had a little bit better overall team plays, just my interpretation of the game. And so, yeah, even on that P4 where they did eventually get that break, we saw a lot of flying in solo shells, which did eventually work, but it still took them a pretty decently long time, and it was something that we saw throughout the course of the game, I feel.
Yeah, ATK, they just weren't able to make it all click at the same time, and it kind of felt like there was a little bit of lapse in judgments in certain moments where some players over-challenged a little bit too much when they could have just waited, played for positioning a tad bit more. But again, it was just that teamwork that I think Pulsive, they were on another level, and even though they had a break, it didn't slow them down, and they're showing why they are potentially the top team at this LAN. And we know in Pool B that there's a lot of good other teams, but when it comes to Pool A, it looks like Pulsive, they're looking to take the cake. But now we're heading on into a search and destroy Embassy. Completely different change of pace. We've seen some sniper gameplay come out of ATK. I'm curious what they're going to have in their back pocket.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious here from them as well. From my experience with Pulsive, I've seen all these guys just nail it in the search and destroy. Pooty, obviously, like I said, he's a really smart dude in addition to being a good gunshot player, like a good gun. He's got good gunny and good brains, so that's a double combo, a wombo combo, if you will. But yeah, I'm sure that he's going to be leading his team to victory, making some great shot calls, and the fact that they can have those moments to reset things after each round, I think that even goes further into the hands of Pulsive, and so I'm giving this map to them. That's just my personal opinion.
And with a map like Embassy, you're able to take your time. In a lot of these other search and destroy maps, you can't really just maneuver across the map as easily. But Embassy, it's long lanes of sight, and so unless if people are hitting their shots 100%, you're probably able to slip by some of these corners, some of these alleyways, and just stay alive that moment longer and make sure you're putting yourself in a good spot to either get that bomb plant, get that retake. And that's just going to be the biggest question. Who is going to be the playmaker? And we kind of saw it. Pulsive doesn't necessarily need to have one of those because their teamwork was so good. I think for ATK, they need somebody to just step up in such a big way. They need to have a takeover game to make sure they get it to that Zarqwa Hydroelectric, because if they do, and they extend this to at least a map 4, there's a potential it goes all the way to that 5th map.
I mean, yeah, I would argue that Llama has been a pretty solid playmaker for his team. He's been getting in a lot of good positions, at least to open things up, getting the entry kill, sometimes even 2 for his own life, sometimes 2 for free. And having that on your side, just being able to find 1 or 2 at a time with only for 1, that's a trade you take every single time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, going into this Embassy, I think that it's going to be, they can't just rely on their individual prowess. Like we saw, they had some good moments on individual bases, especially Hove getting that streak before the end. But, and I mean, I want to give a shout out to Flippin as well, holding down that P3 twice. Yeah. So, yeah. But again, I don't think that's something that they can really fall back on this map, especially with how long the sight lines are. If you're going up against a team that knows what they're doing, they're going to know where you are, and they're going to divide you up from each other quite easily. So, yeah, I think they're going to have to tighten things up a little bit more in terms of the team play.
Couldn't agree with you more. And I thought a sniper was being pulled out, but no, decides the TAC 56 so is. He was teasing us there, Comica. He was teasing us. He wanted to bring out the boomstick, but Stunna's like, nope, I'm gonna go back to the old faithful, the TAC 56, as it will be ATK on the offensive, and nades are coming out, and I'm not sure if Ronnie got spotted, but they surely know his position now. Look at everything. And he just runs right back into the nade. He does have a teammate watching over him, but everybody stacked on top of each other, and it will be Flippin finding that kill onto Llama 2 times. So that is the first blood going the way of ATK, but they're playing this one slow. They're not really allowing themselves to peek out, and Swiz just flies, and he should find the kill, and he absolutely does. Or excuse me, it was Hove with that frag. Pooty as well as Phenom in the 2v3.
Yep. Keep going. I'm having a little bit of a hard time seeing the game.
Oh, not a problem. It will hopefully get that fixed out for you, as it will be Phenom finding one more. And now it's quickly into this 2v2, as we'll flip in. The beautiful Semtex coming on in. And number 3, though, Swiz going up against Pooty. Swiz finds that kill. He's going to invest the dead silence. He actually gets the information of both players. Phenom in the 1v2. Flippin just doing enough to stay alive. He's not giving anything up. And here comes the kill. Phenom, 15 seconds left. And he picks up the submachine gun. He wants to go hunting. He needs to go hunting. And Swiz, he does just enough. He's going to check the bomb. Nobody is there. In this first round, it will go the way of ATK.
Yeah, great macro there from Swiz as well as Flippin. They know that if they take on Phenom on an individual basis, then their chances, not so great. But if they do manage to stall the game out, especially with 20 seconds left, you stall 10 seconds each, you're chilling, you're fine. And that's all they really had to do. Now we're going to be seeing how well they do on the offensive side.
It's going to be the biggest question is, can they get it done? Phenom did end up going down, 3 kills in a row. Maybe thinking about a streak already, and do decide to get aggressive towards that A or B side. And I think that was kind of a surprise to Pulsive. It was an aggressive A side hit. It was a little bit of a bait, maybe thinking they're going to wrap back, but that did not happen. It was middle and the south side of the map that ATK was able to take over. Pooty getting tagged up, but Llama immediately there to watch his teammates back, and Flippin just sees his teammate. And he actually gets one and jumps over the second to get Llama, goes for the third, and Flippin We were talking about a player that needed to have a superstar moment, and he is showing out right now.
What an astonishing play from Flippin'. Door slams right in his face and then slams it right on back as in his opponent's face. Oh my goodness, the fact that he went unseen there. I have not seen too many people play in that position, and I'm sure that, yeah, Pooty and the rest, it came just as unexpected to them as they all got shot in the back. The crazy chow out on the sniper just for the ego's sake. And yeah, reset Phenom streaks as well, and now is working towards some of his own big game moment there for Flippin'.
ATK, they take a 2-0 advantage. We're saying they just need one map. Get it to Zarqwa, because you're going to find yourself in such a good spot. And Ronnie, he's sitting there, and I don't even think he saw Pooty. Maybe he does get the call out now. And so it's going to be number 3, Swiz. Oh, he just gets a really bad time. Oh, he hears him. He should be able to find it. Yes, he does. Stunna, though, takes one down on the back side of the map, but still the bomb is down. And you're trying to go all the way around Pooty. Can he take down Hove? And Hove somehow slips away. Goes out for the ego and takes him down. Stunna, you got a lot of work ahead of you, my friend. You're putting the 1v3.
Yep. Stunna alone. What can he do? Probably not a whole lot. He's going to look for a snipe, but can't quite hit the mark. Expecting someone to be coming up for the chow on this, but, well, I guess you could say hoping that someone will come up for a chow onto this, but obviously not going to be the case here. Trying to fish for a kill because he's got one. Maybe he can make it 2, get some streaks rolling, but yeah, ATK,
oh, no.
wow. What happened?
Oh, never mind. I thought Flippin' died for a second. I thought he got blown up by the bomb. It was Swiz. I was like, oh man, that would have been tough for them to lose that streak.
Oh, I do agree. That would have definitely stunk if it had happened, but yeah, still alive, still kicking, and what's better than 3 kills unanswered? 3 round wins uncontested here from ATK. Pulsive, obviously good search and destroy teams. They don't think too much about the fact that they lost the first 3 rounds. Obviously, like 2, yeah, you're fine, but after 3 losses in a row, you're starting to think, all right, what have we learned, guys? Let's start making some good changes here. Otherwise, we're toast, and it looks like good changes are being made. 1-for-2 trade and be coming down here as Pulsive Gaming looking to regain the bomb on B.
And Llama, he's gonna immediately go over, and Hove is sitting up on the backside AC, so he's really looking for any angle that he can find, and he might be able to catch out Llama if he just gets a tad bit too aggressive. As Ronnie, he's also trying to put push his way up, and it will be Hove finding that kill. Now into the 2v2, and Phenom, I'm not sure if he has the sniper in hand as he is sitting in the back as the information is being gained. Again, Pulsive, they do not have to peek this, but oh, he might try to get the stretch, and he's just going to allow his teammate to watch over him, but they go out for the challenge. Phenom takes down Hove. This should be a round of Pulsive.
Yeah, definitely should be. Stunna just watching over it and takes his head clean off. It seemed like they were a little bit not sure of what they were going to be wanting to do if they wanted to go for the defuse. And yeah, time definitely working in the favor of Pulsive Gaming. Difficult position to be in the extreme. Stunna literally got his eye on the bomb. It's going to be really hard if anyone was to go for that defuse. He would definitely be able to probably knock him down. So yeah, well done from the side of Pulsive Gaming, getting themselves in a position that is very difficult to lose from. And so yeah, definitely got some learning experience from those first 3 rounds, Graph.
Learning experience, and this is what you and I have talked about quite a bit from our cast together, is the teams that are great are the ones who are able to make those adjustments in the middle of the game, right? Making sure that they're figuring out what their opponents are doing and able to counter it in certain ways, and clearly it might be the sign that Pulsive has finally started to learn. But again, did they really need to? Because it was really Flippin' who just 3-pieced them in one of those rounds that was just all by chance. And Swiz, he gets aggressive and not able to take the kill onto Pooty, and he gets away with his life. So now quickly into the 3v3.
Dang, so unfortunate. He shot Pooty at least like 50 times there, but didn't kill him. But either way, ATK inching their way closer. Lives are now back even, but Flippin', he's going to be looking to be that catalyst for his team once again. Bomb is being planted, and over his head, watching will be Hove, in a great position to give him any support in case anyone tries to come up from the top ropes and kill him. Also a little bit cautious of that mid-map play. Sees Llama, knows that he's going to be forced out of that position. And ATK playing very close on the bomb. That normally Pulsive probably would be expecting to back up from this. But, oh no, now they know, and now he's about to get surrounded. He's in some deep trouble. Trying to get a trade-out kill. Here is Hove. Ronnie as well, but Llama a little bit too nice with it. Hove still watching from a distance. I don't know if they have any grenades left. They do indeed. I think they just threw one. Not quite. But either way, Llama coming from the side. Great pinch out play. But great angle works on Hove almost. But I think he will be able to get back in time. Pooty sprinting for his life, and does get it just in time. Well done, Pulsive Gaming.
Oh my goodness, 0.6 seconds to spare, and honestly, I think there was one moment, I think if Hove didn't reload in that moment, he might have been able to find that kill sooner and stay alive behind that truck, because Pooty had not pushed himself up as close as he was that time around, so he might have been able to take that player down and find, or at least get taken less damage. Again, you really don't know. You come back, you look at the VOD, and it's just one of those split-second decisions, but the side of Pulsive, great job. They knew they had to push Hove at that exact moment. They got the kill, they got the defuse.
Yeah, I think there's some credence to what you're saying. I'm not going to criticize Hove too much for that because it is very difficult in that situation, but Ronnie hitting a money nade across the map, but he sees Llama on the site trying to hit a shot on him, and Hove going to be picking up the pieces for him on that one. Great kill onto Llama before he can even really do too much damage. Main playmaker going to be off the board for Pulsive Gaming. And now Phenom on the flank does get found as well, so ATK, my friend, getting really close to that W. Double up on Pulsive Gaming. I mean, it was starting to look like Pulsive was starting to figure out this Krabby Patty secret formula to ATK, but clearly it still eludes them as it is constantly evolving.
It's just the matter of who is Mr. Krabs and who is Plankton at this point. Who is going to have that secret formula indeed. As ATK, it seems like they're starting to find their footing here in this series. And not saying that map 1 was bad, but it just kind of felt like it was Pulsive who held the edge the entire time and just didn't let it go. But now it's ATK. They've been looking good on the search. They've been switching up their strategies, their positioning, and flipping. He's going to immediately fly forward, and oh my goodness, look at number 7. Flippin's like, where did everybody go? Where did my teammates fall? And now he's caught between a rock and a hard place, but the trades do come through, so it's going to quickly drop into the 2v2.
Booty's right beneath him, though. ATK going to be a little bit cautious of this. As you can see, Hove, he's thinking, oh, I don't know if I open that door, but either way, looking for this guy. Pooty sitting, waiting. He's the sleeper cell, the poison pill, and he's waiting to be activated at a moment's notice. They're just sitting there, waiting for the bomb to come either way, but Pooty, oh, looking the wrong way at the wrong time, running right in the path of Ronnie. Ronnie doesn't realize it, and so he's still back alive. Pooty back to full health, so he's got to be careful, but oh, got to be careful of Stunna as well, catching Hove during the chaos and running on away. Ronnie with the bomb knows that Stunna is somewhere over there. He's looking to make his way back towards him. Map could be getting flipped on him, so he's looking to take a pathway over to A, but it seems that Pulsive are knowing what his options are and trying to use that against him. Ready for him this whole time. Pooty looking for him in the middle of the map. Dead Silence is going to be out, so they will be hearing him now. Time running out for this bomb plant scenario. Stunna in a good position. Pooty an even better one to catch him as he gets the bomb plant. Not successfully. Pulsive Gaming still close in this one.
And think how different that would have been if Ronnie found that kill. Yeah, I don't think he realized that he just snuck on by. That's just so unfortunate. Hove, he gets him relatively weak, and then he just runs away. Ronnie not able to react fast enough, or maybe he was on the stairs and just kind of had a really bad timing. But either way, Pulsive, they clutched up when it mattered. And you just take a look at the stat line. Across this entire game mode, everybody has found quite a few kills, so nobody's outperforming. Maybe Hove sitting at 8 and 4, but everybody doing their job, finding the moments. And now it comes down to Pulsive taking their time, slowly going towards this B site. But it will be Stunna Goat. He does have the sniper and flipping. I'm not sure if he saw him with that crack in the door. And I think they did spot each other. So again, everything's just gonna kind of come to a screeching halt and feel each other out for the information.
I think he saw that the door was open, and so if he didn't see the player, he saw the door open, and so he's like, all right, there's a player around here somewhere. Someone had to have opened that door. So he's playing cautiously, not looking to give anything away for free, playing this slowly and methodically. I do appreciate that. Both subs waiting in the wings, quite literally. The bomb plant going down. As soon as you hear that bomb plant going off, or even before that, oh, no, get ready for it. Demolishes the both of them, And now the bomb plant in a nightmare scenario for ATK. Hove looking for a pick, looking for the guy overwatching in the window. But Pooty, he's waiting there as well. Hove knows at least where one of them is, but that doesn't really do him any good as he's got no real recourse to go and take this guy out. Coming up to try and give him some assistance is going to be Ronnie, but Llama's there as well. It's not just one. And Hove getting chowed out wildly, getting away scot-free. And this is looking like another round in the hands of Pulsive.
It's all tied up as it's going to be a 4-4, and how much would this mean for the side of Pulsive if they were able to come back and steal this map 2 away from ATK? Not necessarily saying it was out of reach for them, but still, they have looked dominant in the last 2 to 3 rounds. They've been playing off of ATK's offense, and honestly, kind of seeing what they've been doing, depending on what they get done here. Do you decide to go towards A? That's the biggest question. It kind of seems like ATK, they've had their success on that A site.
I think the answer would be yes. Pulsive probably seeing, oh, our opponent's probably going to go for A. They haven't really gone for B too much, so gotta be a little bit cautious here. Don't want to get blown up prematurely, so they're going to throw a trophy system right behind that car. Llama looking for a kill, fishing for one, looking in the bathrooms, seeing who's around, but, oh, actually going to be going for a flank, looking to get something similar to what Flippin did earlier. Sees Swix. Oh! Letting him know he's here. Swix giving him the turntables. How the tables do turn. And Phenom able to get at least one. The bomb planter as well. Swiz still lurking here. Phenom a little bit hurt, gonna have to fall on away. Does Swiz give chase? I think the answer is yes, he definitely does. But now that Phenom's all the way over here, stunning him out, he's like, all right, that's enough. I've made my point. Gonna go for the bomb plant now.
Yeah, he backs up that player as far as he could go and Stunna. Oh. He almost lined up the clap, but he had the information on home. And he gets 2 snipes. Swiz, don't give him anything. You just can't do it. He wants to check the bomb, and he knows he has to. And this is so difficult. Swiz, can he stay alive? And oh, he gets the timing, and oh, he's just going to run away. And he knows that Phenom is there. And will Phenom just hop the bomb? Oh, yes, he does. Will he get there in time? Swiz, you gotta fly. You gotta go. He's not gonna get there. Swiz is not gonna get there. And oh no, Phenom gets the defuse. And that is a tough round for ATK.
What a dagger of a round for ATK. Pulsive coming from around the back with Stunna. The double headshot from around the backside. The sniper flank. Who would have seen it coming? Clearly not ATK. But I mean, Swiz almost played that really well. He just took a little bit too long of a route. Normally, I mean, I get it. Normally people on land, in my experience, are too afraid to go for that defuse, but not a guy like Phenom. He's one of those experienced players that doesn't really get the jitters of lands as much as other people, so you gotta be knowing that these guys have that sort of thing in their arsenal. Looking to look over the top here over Pooty. Bomb plant gonna be done for free once again, and Stunna and Llama get a double. Hove trying to do some damage control, coming around the back, giving some assistance to Ronnie, which is gonna be very much needed. Lining up onto Pooty, very well done. Guy on the stairs predicts a spot, but Llama still a little bit too nice for that. And so it does put things down to just Hove. Gotta get the ace for the win.
And yeah, he's caught in between both of the players. He is weak, and Stunna has the sniper, misses the shot, but Llama's coming in on the backside. Will Hove read this? That's the question, and no, he's not. Oh my god, he gets him! But no, I don't think Stunna's gonna let this one go. No, he will not, and this is a round for the side of Pulsive. Hove almost gets, I believe, an ace, not a 1v4, but he's just jumping around, and they're having a good time, but Pulsive, they knew it. Once they found those first 2 kills, it was all over. But give credit to Hove, because my goodness, the guy was snapping.
Yeah, like I said, Hove, he's a big deal. He's kind of one of those really good players, but even he can't quite make it there at the end. He was so close to that ace, but Stunna a little bit too good. He's too far away. As soon as he takes just one singular bullet, down. Not gonna let any more hit him. He knows that if he gets killed there, then this round number 11 coming up real soon. So yeah, Stunna, experienced player, not putting himself in a position where he can easily die.
Not at all, and I think they ended up winning 4 rounds straight at the end, so good on them making those adjustments. So beautiful stuff coming out of the side of Pulsive, and now you're on the devil's doorstep, essentially, if you're the side of ATK. Again, it's not the end of your, of the LAN. You end up, this is just pool play, so this is just for seeding for the bracket to come, and probably I would imagine round B or pool B, they're already loading on up and getting probably warmed up, because the last 2 series, I want to give everybody a little bit of an update. Beaver new look. They took down Zerf's Simps in a 3-0 fashion. Simps, first LAN ever. Still not able to get a map win on the board, so that's a little bit difficult for them. And then on the other side, Vintage, they actually upset. I'd say it was an upset against Ozone eSports. So I think Vintage are going to get the 4 seed. Or yep. Not the 5th, so this is interesting. So already Ozone's going to actually start in the losers, and then for the side of Vintage, they're going to start in the winners. So kind of interesting to see, unless if Ozone had more map wins, which they absolutely could have.
Well.
Oh no, they already.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. My math is terrible.
So we're getting. It's okay. I have a degree in bracketology, so I know these kinds of things. I'm a master's in it. But yeah, besides that, ladies and gentlemen, all of our positions are pretty much locked in, deadlocked. 3rd, we got Beaver New Look. 4th, Vintage. 5th, Ozone. And in last, and sadly, this is the end of their first LAN, Zerif's Simps. But 1st and 2nd place still up for debate. A little bit of a talking point between Pulsive and ATK. Looking more and more likely by the moment that it's going to be Pulsive, not gonna lie, but again, this was one of the maps that I did give over to ATK, that if they were gonna win a map, it would probably be this one and then the next one, and their opponents would probably beat them 3-2. That was my prediction. But obviously I could be wrong about that one, as we've seen Llama just lighten things up in the close quarters scenarios, especially on the last map where he got 2K after 2K after 2K. Great entry fragger, this guy, and his teammates always there to follow it up. So man, I don't know. How do you really beat that?
It just comes down to teamwork. You need to make sure you're not solo challing anybody, and that's exactly what happened. The sniper play, it took down one of the players, and then Llama had a 1v1 against the other submachine gun. I believe it was Flippin' in that final round, and guess what? They both won those individual engagements. So if you're the side of ATK, you can't allow that to keep continuing here in the Ella Silo. You need to find an opportunities, and it looks like everybody is loaded on up, so we might hop right on into this map 3. So this is the best thing about LAN and not being online, is these series, they start up so fast, and we love to see it.
Very true. No one gonna be torching you because they're literally sitting right next to you. I mean, I have seen some tactical bathroom breaks in my day over here at the LANs, but I mean, yeah, you know, it happens a lot quicker. Tio's very much on point with that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be going into El Asilo, what could be the final map of this A group. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about that graph. This map, I already highlighted main man Llama on the inside. If you have some good subs, you can get great control over the entirety of the map on the attacking side or defending side. It's going to be the major focal point here, and I am looking at Llama versus Flippin' to be the deciding factor of who is going to be coming away with this mid-map control.
Flippin' last series, he didn't have the greatest map 3 until literally round 5, and then he turned it up and they took it in a pretty dominating fashion. So you're looking at him to have a good map overall. And kind of the question mark is Ronnie hasn't been having the KD that we have seen him in the last few series. So if there's one player on the AR side, it has to be him. I think he has to find success because Flippin' and Swiz, they've done a good job keeping pace with Llama. So that's just a matter, I think, of Ronnie having a good AR game.
Yep, and we do see them already looking to go for an A hit over here, Pulsive, but they've kind of given up a lot of the mid-map control to ATK, as you can see here, doing the old wraparound on them, and that is a lot of deaths for Pulsive to start things off, extending in very greedily, I do have to say, though, and yeah, Pulsive are going to be punishing them for it, basically resetting the tempo in the mid-map hold.
And Ronnie, he got a little bit too aggressive right there. He was all the way up at top antenna, finds 2 kills, but guess who slipped around? It was Phenom, and he's been in this position for probably the last few seconds, and he is getting tagged up by every utility in the book, and he should go down in short order, but he's somehow still alive, and his teammates are kind of watching the cross, but already 2.5 ticks are gone, and guess what? The submachine gun in Llama, he gets it done 3 in a row, and like you said, getting middle of the map control, it allows yourself to maneuver so fast to the other side of the map, and they are going to be in a good spot to try to get this B cap.
Yep, keep going. I got a little bit of a small screen again. Go ahead.
No, not a problem, as it looks like it's going to be Phenom still sitting, waiting in the point, but look at this setup. It's just Nobody from the side of ATK has even made a dent, and Stunna is lighting everybody up. This might be the easiest B cap I think I've ever seen, except flipping he comes through. Will find one, but unfortunately I think it's a tad bit too late. You just have to fly onto the point. Ronnie not able to do it, and Pulsive Gaming, probably one of the easier attacking rounds because they just walked all over ATK.
Yep. Aside from that first great bit that we saw in the early game from ATK, where they just completely basically dogged on them in that first initial push, got control over pretty much their own home third. I do feel, though, that they extended a little bit too greedily, especially up against a team the caliber of Pulsive. They should have been happy with what they had, because what they had was basically 2/3 of the map, but they tried to go for the spawn kills instead while their opponents' death timers were coming to a close and all coming up at the same time. So yeah, they pretty much put themselves into a couple of 1v4 situations. But yeah, obviously they do have it in them to beat their opponents back very early on, so if they can just avoid having that happen again, they're chilling.
They just need to find some of these kills, and it will be Pooty caught out in the middle of the map. And where are they deciding to go? That's kind of the question for ATK. They're not really sure. They're still holding on, and oh no, Swiz, that's a gunfight you needed to win. Phenom, he pushes himself up field side, and now everybody from the side of ATK besides Hove is gonna be pushed all the way back in their spawn. What looked like to potentially be a good series, ATK, they are kind of getting pushed in at the moment as Pooty somehow comes away with one after being weak. And still, you can tell, Pulsive, they are still putting the foot on the throat of ATK, and Pooty, he knows one player is behind him, and guess what? He just waited for Llama to come on in, finds it, and already it's going to be one player. Ronnie gets the second ticket progression. Phenom flies out, not able to find the kill. Flippin was ready for it, but again, we talked about how he has kind of these slow starts here on the map 3, and guess what? He's off to the same. All 4 players, they will drop from the side of ATK. Flippin 2 and 8. Something needs to change right now for ATK, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do anything about it, because it's another 3 looking to be a 4-piece.
A little bit deep in their spawn, finding 1, finding 2, but yeah, very, very worth your life there. Wasting the time, wasting the lives of ATK. This is what ATK wanted to do to Pulsive, have that good early game and then transition to the spawn killing, but obviously it's not quite happening for them. Great stuff coming out from Llama. Should be able to clean up this cap though. ATK, nope, not quite. Clearly is the answer there, as Phenom still here, still lurking phenomenally and killing the final player there as well. This is looking like a dying attack for ATK. ATK clearly not standing for attack, as they are about to lose their attacking side.
Yeah, and this is hard to watch because it is a clinic right now being put in from Pulsive. I can see why they picked this El Asilo map, and it's not even looking close. You had a chance to find 1 point, but again, it just feels like when you kill one member of Pulsive, another one appears. They always have another player there for the trade, and we highlighted this at the beginning of the series. It always feels like they are not allowing non-traded kills, and it shows in the stat line. 14 and 6, 12 and 4, 9 and 4 for Pooty, and then Stunna just having a casual 4 and 5. He's not needing to do a whole lot. It's going to be Llama once again, trying to push up the middle. Hove will end up winning 1. Number 5, though, it's Ronnie. He's coming in, sitting at the top side. And Swiz, though, he will get a double. Flipping, gets the read on a Pooty. So now all the players are pushed up. But like you said, are they being a little overzealous here? Trying to get a little bit too greedy with their map positioning. Flipping comes in with a double. He's sitting at 3 in a row, and they are now stopping the side of Pulsive. They're pushing them back in their spawn as Hove gets 1, Flipping gets another, and Llama 2 times. He's going to be the only player in position. Swiz, is he going to try to take this gunfight? Oh, he will, but it again is one more player. Llama 2 times. He will find the kills, and now they have found the opening over here towards A. It's a matter of, can they get the cap? Flipping on 4. I don't think he wants to challenge out. He knows his streak could be too important to potentially change the tides of this game.
Yep, and Sean on the inside here, Sean on the outside, excuse me, is going to be Stunna. Just sitting here on the contest, trying to bait them in for his teammate on the outside of the map. Well done. They're not going to be able to do a dang thing about him, except for sit in this door frame and force him off of it. Yep, that is going to be a cap in the making for Pulsive. Already got some people in the middle of the map, killing the only people for ATK in the middle of the map now as well. Transition is looking really good. ATK just desperately trying to get on out of there and set up for the inevitable push.
And the inevitable, it comes through, but it looks like ATK doing a good job for now. Because right now, look at Hove. He's just coming in off a spawn. He is so scared that a player's already watching it from Pulsive, but nobody is home. And that's just kind of the effect that this gaming squad has on ATK. They are just forcing everybody. Everybody just leaves the B site. Everybody just left, and guess what? That is the opening. Phenom's on 5 in a row, still has a cruise missile left to work with, and now they can just individually take these gunfights, but who's gonna come out on top? ATK, they actually get 3 down, and Flippin', he might try to get aggressive, try to take down Llama. Goes in through the middle, but Llama shuts him down 22 and 10, and he's still moving, he's still grooving, but unfortunately, the Semtex will finally end that streak.
Yep, and Pulsive with firm control over the B site now. Already with 1 tick, I do believe, are going to be able to look to take this. The one saving grace for ATK is they got this guy back here, winning a big fight there. And now we got Flippin' close to the site as well. These players that are up deep for Pulsive, if they do decide to go for this attack, they will not be able to cap it fast enough before the players that are deep here are going to be able to kill them pretty much. So yeah, great stalling game coming out from them. And Pulsive are just going to have to bite the bullet eventually, hop on it, and hope for the best. We got Llama 2K, who's been pretty good for a 2K every single time. Seeing if he can find even more, but the flank will come out, taking 1 down. Ooh, and another will fall. Go ahead.
Oh, and Swiz, I mean, he goes big. But Ronnie, that's the 1v1 that might have just sealed the game. As long as he can stay alive, he has Hove watching over him. He needs to hold this one off, but they're just going to stack it, and they will get another tick. No, they will not. Just a sliver away in ATK from the depths. They will take that defensive round.
Yep, that was some great stall play. We had a couple of players around the back for ATK, if you do remember, making it so that it was pretty much never comfortable for them to hop on the objective. And what a nade there from Flippin', taking out the both of them to seal that one off. So, yeah, really good stuff there from them. We did see good stuff early on coming out from Pulsive with their mid-map control, even insofar as they were able to get that first tick on the B. ATK getting that back, and Pulsive not really challenging them too overly hard for it towards the end really did give a little bit of a let-off for ATK. They were able to surround them, shoot a lot of them in the back, cut off a lot of their supply lines, and they were never really able to stop them from getting in positions to just nade them off the objective.
And it comes down to another attack. Really living up to the abbreviation, essentially, ATK is, can they find anything? It just feels like they're throwing bodies on the hill, hoping for the best. Ronnie tries to get aggressive, but Llama, of course, in a good position. Just look at where everybody is for Pulsive. They're spread across. They're making sure they're at least finding these technical trades. Swiz, he knows he has to find this player and really get it. Yes, he does, and that's a big kill to make sure they can find a little bit of pressure through the middle of the map. And number 5, though, Ronnie, he hops onto the B site and could get this first tick, but Swiz, he is flying through. He's actually going to lay down, make one of the eyes have to turn. And Stunna has no idea where he is. He actually looks right by him. And oh, still finds the kill. I think he had the AR in a little bit of a mid-range engagement, but still ATK, they're putting the pressure on at B.
Yeah, putting the pressure on pretty much everywhere, and they still got one guy there. Not anymore. Caster cursed him in real time, but yeah, Flippin' still going to be here as well. But as you can see, Pulsive, they've got great control over the middle of the map. If you got 2 people on both objectives for ATK, then you've got nobody in the middle of the map. Pulsive Gaming eventually going to realize that, and they're going to take it away from you. And this is a lot of great control that's been given to them basically for free. And unfortunately for not too much good going the other way. I don't see a whole lot of ticks going their way. And yeah, just so much kills going on here from Pooty. You're not going to be able to do too much here with him chilling here. So with very limited time remaining, they are going to have to go out and clear out their home third if they want to be making any progress towards any of these objectives.
They have to clear it out, and currently they're just not able to do so. It feels like 1 kill, it goes 2 to the way of Pulsive. Hove. He's gonna try to flip it, but no, Pooty is still there, and they're investing the streaks. They're investing everything. 10 lives left. Oh no, Pooty, don't dance. Don't play with your food. And he actually gets turned on. 9 seconds. It could actually allow one player to maybe hop onto this B site. Look at Llama though. He's been waiting for it, and he will end up getting one, but still, I don't think there's going to be enough lives left. But oh, as I say that, that's 2 kills going their way, and they might be able to secure this B site. And we have seen this from ATK, and they actually get it. It's going to extend from a minute, but you only have 7 lives to work with.
7 lives, but I mean, hey, maybe they can get it done. We will soon see. It really does depend what they do on this life right now, because if you get stuck in your spawn after this, you get full team wiped. It doesn't matter if you have any more lives left after this, because they're about to be basically forfeit. So we will see what they can do. They are deep in their opponent's home third in some interesting positions here. Yeah, as you can see, looking to put some pressure on the AR. Could easily get pinched out here, though. Does have to be a little bit careful getting hit with the nade. So, yes, his position, it is good, but it's easily going to get closed down upon by Pulsive. Great callouts from Pulsive, and so now, on the objective they go, catching one out, and oh, that's 2 down. Looking to power burn this one, and they will have to push onto it. We'll catch another one out, and it's looking good for ATK to get it done.
Wow, what a moment. They won that in an 8v19 life count. And they did it when there was 3 seconds left on the clock. I mean, my goodness, talk about the clutch potential. And they were down. Oh, this was looking like it was going to be a 3-0 here, Comico. But guess what? They found the life. They get 1 round. They get the second. I don't know how they did, but the teamwork was on point. They took their time. When they had that minute on the clock added, they made sure they were playing for kills first before they even had a hope of hopping onto that point, and they executed it perfectly.
Yeah, a lot of that really did come down to execution. The fact that they were able to, you know, transition so well from that B objective with the time that was remaining and get some good kills, some good distractions as well, without Pulsive getting really too much back. It just really did come down to the execution. And so, yeah, well done. We find ourselves in a position where ATK, after having some rough first rounds, could definitely get something done here. Going for an early B burn, but Pooty is going to be stopping any ideas of an early B cap already.
And Ronnie, he's the only one who's staying alive, and if he finds one, it could make the difference. Unfortunately, he will fall. Hove, he will take down that player hopping up, but again, Pooty has been the player finding a lot of these openings, these routes. He will find 2 for his troubles before he falls, and you can tell the field side hit. It is winding up, and look at number 4, Stunna. He's sitting, watching every single cross, but what a nade coming on in from Hove. So that is the one player who's actually sitting on the site looking good. Unfortunately, Swiz gets shot in the front and shot in the back, and he will fall. 33 seconds left, no ticks of progression, and there's only been a total of, what is that, 12 lives lost in a minute, or a minute? That's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, ATK just have not really been able to touch the objective at all. Gave up a lot of control in the middle of the map, and Pulsive, once again, will be punishing them for that. It looks like ATK are going to reprioritize that just in time and get back over on the A objective instead. A's coming out trying to hit their marks, but Phenom trying desperately to fish for this guy does eventually come up with a good one. But the flank coming out is being watched. Very well done from ATK. So all they got to do is focus forward, and that is exactly what they will do. Finding another player on the back. Stunna coming around the back. Excuse me, Llama 2K coming around the back, and we'll be able to get him. And ooh, the quick transition to B. It will force Llama's attention to be given over here, but yeah, still in it. Still in it somehow, ATK.
I just don't know how, Comica. It feels like in these final seconds, they're like, okay, let's start pushing this one as a team. Let's start holding each other's angles. And finally, it's Hov finding one on the back end. He needs to find potentially one more Stunna. He's going to get pushed out and flipping. He goes out for the eagle. He somehow slips on by. I don't know how. And now they're starting to push him in. Stunna, no way. He gets him with the pistol. He had the help from 2-time Llama the friend. But still, now you have 40 seconds left. It's 20, or make it 19-11. We've seen this before. ATK, they still have a chance, but it feels like it's growing ever smaller.
Yeah, I feel like ATK just has these moments where they're like, oh, how do we win this map again? Oh yeah, we go for the mid-map control. So now that's exactly what they're trying to do. They completely gave it up for quite a little bit, but now when it suits them, they're going right back on in for it. But it might be a little bit too late this time for them to have their epiphany of how to win the map once again. And you see Stunna, he's going around the back, constant pressure. Can never make a push forward without your enemy coming up behind you. Good stuff coming out. Clock will be stopped. Tick will be gained, but you gotta do more than just get ticks at this point. You gotta get the whole dang thing. 1 kill for 1 kill, but again, that benefits Pulsive. On the objective still, will be flipping. In the middle of the map, they will die, and flipping will fall as well. Pulsive looking to close this one out really soon. Lives extinguished for ATK, and I think, indeed, Graf, that will do it.
And that's just so tough, and I think their last player just ended up leaving, and it will be Pulsive who comes out on top of ATK. Some really close maps. I mean, ATK weren't that far away by any means, but it's still just, it felt like consistently that Pulsive always had control of the reins the majority of this series. So them being able to close this out in a 3-0 wasn't necessarily surprising. Phenom 40 and 18, 34 non-traded kills. Llama 35 and 26, 25 non-traded. It was really the AR and the submachine gun from the side of Pulsive that got it done.
Yeah, so really every single aspect of them was a little bit better is what you're saying. But yeah, either way, I know exactly what you mean there, Graf. They had some really good performances from Phenom in individual moments. Great stuff from Llama in a lot of moments as well. Like I said, it was going to be between him and Flippin'. They were going to be deciding who's going to be winning the map based on who gets the good mid-map control. And in some moments, I do have to say, when they shelled out for it, it was ATK. But I feel like they just got into these zones where they were like, all right, let's just go straight in for the objective. They're probably going to try and contest us for the middle of the map, so let's just try and go right onto the objective. But obviously there's a reason why you want to be getting that mid-map control, because if you go straight onto the objective, you're a sitting duck. That's why Pulsive was able to get a lot of these really good starts on their own defensive sides. But to ATK's credit, when they did go for it, they did win a decent amount of the time, but I just feel like they didn't prioritize it enough as they should have, and Pulsive definitely did.
Yeah, and it was just too late. It felt like ATK got everything clicking just a little bit too much more. And for right now, it's just a great way for the side of Pulsive to be able to close this one out. They went completely flawless in the pool play, and they got everybody from the A side, and now they're going to be probably watching a little bit of the VOD, but they get to end early. And we were playing him and starting the B group probably at 3. It's 6 o'clock here, so they're going to have a long way to go. So it's going to be a long night for some of these teams. And we were talking about maybe trying to get a winners round 1 in here. I just don't see that happening. We'll keep everybody updated, but Kamika, what are your overall thoughts of this Pool A so far?
From what I've seen, we definitely have a clear favorite in the form of Pulsive, the team that I was firmly expecting to come out as probably one of the winners of the LAN, at least placing top 3. So yeah, Pulsive, no surprises here that they're coming out on top of their group, undefeated. Maybe you could say maybe they lose a map along the way, but no, they say no way, not today. ATK definitely giving us a little bit of surprises. I definitely had somebody else picked for second place here, but I always love to be proven a little bit wrong. Always a little bit of a dark horse going on in some of these groups, and we found it in this group is ATK. Going on into tomorrow, it's going to be really interesting to see who they get matched up against from these other groups, and yeah, they might, based on this placement, they might be able to go pretty far.
Yeah, they might absolutely be able to, and potentially they are also looking for that top 3, and I know Flippin', he has had kind of some ups and downs in the lands as far as his roster placing and where they've kind of been. So with them, you can tell this roster is here to play, and they looked really good up against probably, like you said, a top 3 team, if not being the winners of this overall land. But we will have Group B coming up right after this, and we can actually tell you what the round 1 are going to be like. We haven't confirmed who we're going to cast yet, but it's going to be Papa's versus Infinite Esports. It's going to be New Look Gaming Onyx going up against Grimace Gremlins, and then Cerberus X Beaver going up against Acrylic / Last Hurrah. And we get to actually pull it up here really quick. I know it's going to probably be pretty tiny on the stream, but it's absolutely incredible to see all these teams here. And Kamika, it's been a pleasure casting with you, but I think I'm going to take a break, and guess who we have coming up after? It's going to be Big Rich X. He's making his LAN debut here at the Contender eSports Arena, so it's going to be a pleasure to have him. But don't go anywhere. We have Pool B for this Fort Collins Contender eSports event LAN. coming up right after this. But first, we have a little bit of a sponsor from your man, Gaming Chef in Dark Fusion.
With Dark Fusion systems, you'll be able to dominate the battlefield. Our high-powered computers are designed to give you the edge you need to win. Whether you're playing solo or with a team, Dark Fusions will help you take your game to the next level. So what are you waiting for? Get your Dark Fusion computer today and start dominating the battlefield.
That'd be Chris's. Chris, do you have your headphones? Love God, right?